I would like to repeat the public appeal for anybody who has seen the victim walking along Mays Avenue or Leichhardt Street between, say, 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock on that Tuesday night. Now, at this stage, we haven't had anybody come forward who's actually seen her walking those streets, and that's important for us to try to fill in the pieces. So we would really like to hear from anybody who may have seen her walking along either Mays Avenue or Leichhardt Street between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Now, the clothing she was wearing at the time were long, dark trousers, long black trousers, a greeny blue long sleeve zip-up top, and a black McDonald's cap. The top covered her McDonald's uniform. So that's the first thing we'd like to hear. Secondly, if we'd like to hear from anybody who may have been walking along Leichhardt Street at any time throughout the night who may have located the McDonald's cap and potentially moved it. Okay, there's no issues with doing that, but just for elimination purposes, we would like to speak to anybody who saw the cap and potentially moved the cap, okay, to the location where it was when we found it. Now, the media have reported over the last day in relation to a sobbing male. We would appeal to that person to come forward. Now, this is a person who allegedly was around the premises of 95 Mays Avenue around about 8:30 that night, apparently wearing some sort of a yellow top, a male in a yellow top, who was heard sobbing. Again, for elimination purposes, we would ask that person to come forward. And then lastly, anybody that was in the vicinity of the rotunda there at Mays Park, which is near the overpass across the railway line, any time on the evening of Tuesday the 21st of May. So anybody who was congregating around that rotunda on that Tuesday evening, we would like them to come forward also.
In relation to the sobbing male, did he try to gain access to the house?
Well, at this stage, there's no indication that he tried to gain access to the house, but we obviously want to speak to that person and either find out whether it's relevant or eliminate him.
You've interviewed the homeowners there. What exactly did they have to say?
Well, I don't want to go into any great detail about what they've said, but the general story is that he was outside and knocking on the door and was sobbing.
Can you confirm what time she was due to start at McDonald's?
9 o'clock.
Was he sobbing uncontrollably, just weeping? I mean, it's sort of an unusual... What sort of detail do you have on that?
He was sobbing.
And just a man in a yellow top, that's a description.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did he sit in the chair out on the veranda?
Yes.
Who reported her as missing?
Her husband.
When did he report that?
On the Tuesday night, late on the Tuesday night.
As in 10, 11?
He reported her missing around about midnight.
Where is the investigation at, Dave? Can you say how many people you've spoken to and whether there's reports today that you're looking at security vision from the area?
Yes, of course. We're gathering as much CCTV as we can. We have interviewed a number of people. We're doing a lot of door knocks. We're currently extending the search, so we're having police, they probably are arriving now to extend the search around that area.
Can you confirm whether she was pregnant?
Yes, she was.
Have you located anyone who was drinking at that time during the day? Has anyone come forward yet?
No.
Has her husband been cooperating?
Yes.
And
Have you
what's his
finished
state of
questioning
mind
him?
at the moment?
As you would expect, the husband under these circumstances is distraught.
What was the
Can you
process
tell us
from when
more
you...
about the cap? So was it found across the road from where her body was found, and where do you think that it was moved from?
Well, you will see from some of your own footage that the cap was hanging on a fence, and we would just like to speak or identify anybody who may have moved that cap and put it on the fence.
Do you believe she was murdered at that spot on Leichhardt Street, or that she might have been killed somewhere else and then her body put there?
Well, again, at this stage, we're still investigating, so all options are still open at this point in time.
Residents so far are saying that they didn't hear anything. It seems strange with that many dogs in the street. I mean, you can barely walk past without them going off. Have you anything to say on that front?
No, we're door knocking, for want of a better word. We're having police out there again door knocking, but at this stage we haven't identified anybody who's heard anything.
Why was
the rest
their car seized?
That's just a part of the normal investigation under these circumstances. Any investigation of this type, we would look at the people close to the victim. We would look at their premises. We would look at their car. That's just normal procedure.
How many people have you interviewed?
Well, we've interviewed quite a number of people, obviously, including neighbours, McDonald's employees, quite a number of people have been interviewed.
Have you done the post-mortem? Can you shed any light on any injuries or whether there was a sex attack prior to or cause of death, anything like that?
Look, at this stage, I can say that that the victim did sustain some blunt force trauma to the head, and we are of the view that she was sexually assaulted. The post-mortem is not completed at this point in time.
Have you located a possible weapon?
I don't want to discuss any of the operational issues surrounding the actual scene itself.
With the crying man, did he ask to go inside the house, or did he just sit there crying?
My recollection of it is that he just knocked on the door. So,
Just with her husband, can you confirm that he was at work that night until after 9 p.m?
look, we can confirm that he has cooperated with us, and at this stage, he's not listed as a suspect.
Can you
How's he
confirm her
holding
age?
You might have me there, but my understanding is she's 27. That's just from memory.
29.
My memory is 27, but I can confirm that for you later.
So is
Can I
that,
also ask about her, just a bit of who she was, her background? Was she born in Australia? Can you give us some detail on that?
Yes, my understanding is she's obviously from the Philippines. I believe she came to Australia around about 2009. She met her husband 2011, and they married in 2012.
Any other family members out here?
Not that I'm aware of, but she has family in the Philippines.
Are they coming over, do you know?
I don't know at this point.
Do you have any suspects?
Well, at this stage, there are no suspects, but we have a number of lines of inquiry. But there are still a lot of gaps in the investigation, and that's why it's very important for us to get it out to the public and for us to seek the assistance of the public in relation to those issues I've discussed. So,
Did you find any other of her pieces of clothing besides the cap? Have you found her jacket at all? Or?
yes, we have the jacket. Yes.
Has the flatmate been interviewed as well? Is he been able to shed any light?
Now, who are you referring to as the flatmate?
I believe there's a man that lives at the back of the property, is that right? Or?
We've interviewed all those people in the vicinity.
How
yes.
many are there that actually share the house?
The victim and her husband live alone.
But isn't there a flatmate?
Well, it's a separate house, I understand.
Have you ramped up the investigation in terms of numbers with police?
We have. We currently today would have up to 40 investigators and intelligence officers, and that's in addition to all the forensic police and the uniformed police who are out searching the area at the moment. So we have a very large task force currently working on the job.
Do you continue to speak to her husband?
We'll speak to the husband again today, yes.
Has he got any family out here supporting him as well? Or
Yes.
he has?
there was a set of keys found. Did you find out what
There's-
they're related to?
Yes, we have, and there's no issues in relation to the keys.
And
There
what
were-
about-
And there's
Report-
also blood. Is that blood found on the street opposite the house where she was found?
There was blood located there.
Do you believe that's where she may have been attacked?
We haven't established that at this point in time. Inquiries continuing in relation to that.
There were also reports of a stolen car just nearby to their house. Is that linked at all? Or? I'm not sure.
We are aware that a car was stolen from near to where the victim lived. We're aware of that, and that's obviously one of our avenues of inquiry
When was it stolen?
on the night.
And what about the wallet that was handed in just a couple of hours ago to police at the house? I understand there's a little link there at all, but I guess it would show people coming forward.
Well, it's good that we are getting some response from the public, and we would encourage the public to come forward with any information they have which they think might be relevant to the
Can
investigation.
you say anything about that wallet in particular? Have you ruled that out?
It's just a part of the investigation at this point.
How far away was the car when it was stolen from her home?
It was stolen from just across the road. Yeah.
Can you confirm how far along in the pregnancy she was? There just seems to be some mixed reports. 3
Just under 3 months, wasn't it?
I just don't want to comment on that at this stage. She was pregnant, but I don't think it really matters how far along.
Should people be worried in that area that there's some person getting round who is committing violent and random attacks, or?
Well, it's the same. It's the same story that we say all the time. It is be alert, not alarmed. These incidents happen in towns, cities, countries all over the world all the time. This one just happened to happen here. So, we would encourage everybody to, be aware of their personal safety. If they're going to go out at night, try to go with somebody, tell people where they're going, try to stay in lit up areas, just the usual protective measures they should take.
So does that-
Nothing's changed.
So does that mean that this appears to be a random attack, or do you think she knew her attacker?
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Has anyone been able to come forward and say, yes, we did see her walking to work?
No, as I said earlier, we haven't had anybody at this point come forward and say they saw her walking walking along the street. So that is something, you know, that's important to us. So we need to get that message out there and try to identify anybody who did see her. Now, we understand it's only a short distance, you know, it's not far, it'd probably only take her 15 minutes. But we would hope that somebody might have seen her at some point.
So there's a possibility. Her husband was at work. She left the house by herself. There was no one at home when she left. So you don't actually have anyone seeing her leave the house at the time.
That's correct.
So you don't know, in fact, whether she was even murdered inside the house.
Well, what I can say is that the house is being examined, and we'll gain certain information from the result of that examination. But
is there any evidence of a scuffle or anything happening there at this stage?
no.
And just coming back to that stolen car, sorry, I'm just a bit confused about it. Was it, have you found it, did you say? Or
Car has been recovered, yes.
Yeah. Is that the one that was confiscated? Or?
No.
Is there any evidence of a break-in or an invasion to the home at all?
No.
There was a report of someone seen running near the park. Is that being ruled out?
Well, that's part of the appeal that we're making. Like, we have had a lot of information come in from the public already, and that information consists of things like hearing people shout and scream and people running here and running there, which is normal behaviour. So we would just ask those people to come forward, and that's why I'm asking that those people who were specifically seen at the rotunda at Mays Avenue to come forward.
And sorry, I just wanted a clarification. Is there a thought that she was attacked or murdered at the site or previously in body dump there? I know it was asked before.
Yep, we're just keeping an open mind on that at this point in time.
What's your early thoughts?
No, we're keeping an open mind on that, thanks.
Why so much examination still at the house?
Normal procedure. Under normal procedure, something is, you know, an offence of this significance, we would be very thorough. So we will take as long as we need to investigate all the scenes, to examine all the scenes.
Is there anything you can say kind of from the forensics at the scene where she was found? What you're getting from that?
No.
There's a vigil being held this afternoon. Is that helpful or not really?
Well,
This-
I can only speculate on that, but obviously it engenders you know, public support, and that's what we want. You know, like we rely on the public to fill in some of those gaps that we can't determine ourselves. So, you know, I think it's a good thing, and we look forward to hearing from members of the public who can provide us with information.